agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. Stop agreeing with yourself. Stop agreeing with yourself. Hello and welcome to Glass Half Full Reviews, where a good movie is like my grandmother's lasagna. Damn good. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Chef. Chef is the latest movie from writer, director, actor Jon Favreau, known for such films as Iron Man 2, and Swingers. And also that movie I don't remember, and also Zathura. So, what's going on with this movie? What's the deal, Jon Favreau? So, Jon Favreau has written this really interesting story. A lot of people are calling it like a metaphor for his career, and I don't know if that's true or not. It's a very simple story, but I think an effective one. Jon Favreau stars as Carl Kasperi, very famous and pretty successful chef in a Los Angeles restaurant. He has a pretty interesting girlfriend, played by Scarlett Johansson, who's one of the hosts. So obviously she's one of the most beautiful women in the world. He just happens to be dating casually. But apparently he's an amazing chef, so, you know, that works. Now, I did hear in some interviews that apparently he did learn how to make everything that you see him make in the movie. Does it mean it's good? I don't know. I mean, it all looks good. It's just such a food porn movie. But I'll get to that later when I get to my 5-point breakdown. But anyway, he's falling into a bit of ennui. You know, he's divorced from ex-wife Sofia Vergara, of course. And his son, played by MJ Anthony, is, you know, like, oh, Papa, why do you not care about me so? Oh, Papa. You know, kids, they want attention from their parents. Whatevers. So, basically, Carl is doing the same meals and over again. They're successful. People like them, but he feels like he's not growing, like he's not trying anything new. Like he feels like he's abandoned his roots and is just being bland. So, he finds out there's this big blogger online. But this isn't one of those low-class, crappy bloggers. This guy's actually a paid blogger for some internet website. So he actually has like a lot of hits, apparently. So, he's the real deal. And he's going to be coming to the restaurant. Okay. He starts thinking, I'm going to have this amazing menu. All the trimmings. Shark fins. Shark farts. Shark eyes. Everything shark. I actually don't remember the specifics, but it was all kind of radical but interesting. Sounds kind of cool. But what happens? Evil boss, played by Dustin Hoffman, comes in and says, oh, no, you don't. I own your ass. You're gonna cook what you always cook. So what happens? Oliver Platt, the critic, comes in and he's like, boring. Everything tasted like bleh. So what happens? Carl Kasperi, he learns about Twitter, he learns about YouTube, and he basically has a really angry tirade that ends up on there. So he gets fired. Whoops. But this is just the start of the movie, because now he realizes, I gotta do something. I gotta make a change. He decides, I'm gonna open up a food truck. So he's off with some of his friends, some of his former cooks, maybe John Leguizamo specifically, and his son. They go on this cross-country trip from Florida back to LA, and it's basically just like that. It's just him reconnecting with his love of food and with his son, and, you know, sort of having this kind of fun, low-key adventure. Nothing too crazy, but fun. And that's what this movie is. It's a fun, charming movie, and I just really liked it. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, I just couldn't help but leave with the smile on my face. I mean, that's really the thing. You just love watching these guys work. You know, it can get a little ribald at times, but it just works really well. And sure, there's some parts in the beginning I felt were a little slow. The setup didn't quite work for me. And some of those initial characters were a little cliched and stereotypical at the restaurant. But once it gets going, once that movie gets going, it's a blast until it ends. So I feel like that's enough of background. Let's talk about my 5-point breakdown. 5-point breakdown. Alright. How's he acting in this son of a gun? it's pretty good. Jon Favreau is doing some fine work here, and I liked it. He had a great connection with John Leguizamo, who was sort of like his partner. I actually felt like it was more of a connection than he had with a kid playing his son, which was fine. They had a decent connection. It just wasn't quite what I would expect from a father-son thing. But the kid doesn't do a good job. You don't always find good child actors. This guy does a good job, and sure, Dustin Hoffman and Oliver Platt, not the best, and there's a few cameos that are fun, that are fine, and I don't want to spoil them. Of course not, it's a spoil-free review. But I, in general, thought the acting was strong. Brings us to number 2. Story's simple. Like I said, the beginning is it's sort of like a means to an end. Necessary evil. I don't even think it's such a great conceit, but once you get going, it's just nice. It's nice to see this relationship and to see him embrace his love of food. That's what works. So, for me, that's the part of the story that is effective. All right, number 3. How does this movie look? It looks great. Jon Favreau is an excellent director, and he's also directing food really, really well. I mean, you're like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, gosh. I could go for some broccoli right about now. He does a great job filming food. You will, if you haven't already eaten, leave hungry. And so make sure you have a good meal before going to see this, because you're going to say, oh, my God, I got to eat some unhealthy food right now. It was a lot of fun for me. I love cooking. So, for me, watching this movie, it's like, wow, look at all the techniques. They're so advanced. It's great. It was a lot of fun for me. And let's move on. Number 4. Like I said, I left this movie with a smile on my face. I felt good. I felt happy about it. It's that kind of movie. It works pretty well. So, let's finally move on to numero 5. And what's the point? Does it matter? It's hard to say. This is going to be a small movie. It's not going to blow up. I mean, it's already been out for a month or so. And although I liked it, and I know a lot of other people who went to see it also liked it, even my grandparents. But I'm glad Jon Favreau had a chance to make this movie. It seemed like he had this movie maybe as a metaphor for the food, or was the food a metaphor for his movie? I don't know, but it worked. This was a great return to form, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I did Iron Man 2, which was the best of however many minutes commercial for Avengers that I've seen. I mean, a feature-length movie that was a commercial for the Avengers. I mean, I like the Avengers, so I sort of like the commercial, but come on, it wasn't a movie. So, would I recommend this movie? I 100% do. Watch this movie, and I think you're just going to have a great time. Unless you don't like food, or, father-son bonding stuff, or seeing American stuff passing by on road trips. If you hate that stuff, if you're like, nope, I like darkness, I like bland food, I hate parents and kids, and maybe you're not going to like this movie. Hey, but different strokes. Thanks for stopping by.